Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to another episode of In Depth with David. We're here to recap Patriots versus Ravens game that just ended a little over an hour ago. It was a fun game, terrible ending. We're gonna recap it from start to finish. But the big news is I'm joined by a brand new guest making his debut on my YouTube channel. Is my good friend Sebastian. How are
Hey
you doing,
everyone.
buddy?
I'll be doing better if we won. That's for sure.
Why don't just for the viewers out there, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself? And basically, before you get into that, actually, I'll just say we met last year. We both are part of the radio station here at the school we go to. I don't want to say the school we went to. I mean, if you see another video, my friend that I had on here exposed me for what school I went to. But basically, me and Sebastian over here know each other because we work for a radio station. So continue, though.
Yeah, so at said radio station, I am the sports director, so I'm heavily involved in a lot of sports. And basically, yeah, we kind of met through that, and we got on a lot with our love for football and for a lot of other sports as well for around Boston.
Yes, so just getting into the game, Patriots. If you've been living under a rock, or I guess this is the spoiler alert, Patriots lost 37-26 earlier to the Baltimore Ravens in the home opener. The Patriots fall to 1-2 on the season. The Ravens improved to 2-1. Before we get into specifics, just what are your general takeaways on how the game went today?
I think offensively, we did a lot better. We're still learning about ourselves. We made good progress, but it's still not there yet. We're still not a good scoring offense. And I think our defense kind of made itself known again. They really stepped up when they needed to for a lot of the game, except the final 15 minutes, we just looked really tired out there.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get at. I think the defense had another solid performance today. I don't think the box score does it justice because Lamar Jackson, whenever you face a guy like Lamar Jackson, the explosive Ravens offense, they're going to get their own. Like, you just have to give them their flowers. It's inevitable that they're going to score a lot of points. And I just think the offense for us didn't do a good enough job of giving the defense rest. And as you said, we just saw in the fourth quarter where the defense looked gassed and ran out of energy or fuel in the tank, and Lamar and people like Justice Hill were able to take advantage of that. Then on the offense, I thought we played a pretty good game offensively, especially through the first three quarters, hanging with the Baltimore Ravens, being very competitive with them. We put a lot of points on the board. I didn't really have any qualms about the play calling. I just think, the New England Patriots' biggest enemy, especially last season and this season, has been the New England Patriots, and saying that we turned the ball over 4 times today, all self-inflicted mistakes. You could go back to a number of games last year where we lost because of these turnovers. So it's just something you have to clean up. But I do think that this was a fun game, and I think we're improving, and we're going to get there. But just a frustrating loss because this is a game you feel like you could have had.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there were some parts where I thought we did have it. I think probably midway through the third quarter, I saw the interception, and I thought, perfect. That sets us up right where we need to be. But yeah, ultimately, our own worst enemy was us. I guess there's something happening, I think, internally right now that we haven't figured out yet. And until we do, we're just going to keep shooting ourselves in the foot.
Right. So we're going to get into the game, break it down quarter by quarter, what big things happen in every quarter. So first quarter started great for the Patriots on defense. They forced Baltimore into a 3-and-out right away as Equale at the line of scrimmage deflected a Lamar Jackson pass. But right after that, it got a little scary for a second once again as Miles Bryant muffed the punt, but he recovered it. What do you think about Miles Bryant being back there returning punts? Because I think all of us in the Patriots community, it's pretty divided right now, but I think we're all united in saying, like, why not just put Marcus Jones back there? Because this guy that we drafted, Marcus Jones, was the best punt returner in all of college football last year. So it almost just seems like Belichick's just kind of overthinking things with this.
Yeah, I saw the muffed punt, and I got flashbacks from the last time he muffed a punt, and I was thinking, "Oh God, we're in for one of these games again." But yeah, I think he should not be back there. You need to be able to catch, and he's proven that he can't do that for some reason. So I think they need to put in Marcus Jones, like you said, was the best punt returner in college football last year. So it's just odd. It's just one of those odd decisions we've seen this year.
Yeah, and it's giving me flashbacks to Cyrus Jones way back in the day when we had him back there returning punts and kicks, and that was a ill-advised experience for a year before he basically was off the face of the universe after the 2016 season. But I think it's more than enough time to make the switch there. I've seen 3 weeks. 3 weeks has been enough for me. But then again, I mean, we'll get into this later in the recap, or we might not. But Miles Bryant had a pretty decent return later in this game on a punt. So I'm kind of like eating my words right now. But like, a broken clock is right twice a day. That's what I'll get at with that. So luckily, nothing came of that, and the Patriots got on offense, but nothing came of the drive for the Pats. They had to end up punting on this one because Isaiah Wynn got a stupid penalty on an illegal formation. And it's just, this happened last week against Pittsburgh, and this happened this week too, where our offensive line, I don't know what it is, but there's just been so many dumb penalties from our offensive line. And the guys that you need to rely on, like Trent Brown, David Andrews, and Isaiah Wynn, have just gotten so many stupid penalties. I mean, I don't want to say that it's something to worry about because they're all professionals and they all are pretty good with us and have proved to be pretty good in our system. But it's pretty frustrating to see this happen 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, last week I thought, okay, that's a one-off. I'll let that go. But now to see it 2 weeks in a row, and seeing, like you said, our veterans doing this, there's either something wrong with the coaching, or there's something wrong with, the actual formation, because it is hard nowadays to get a illegal formation penalty. It's almost impressive to get it twice in a row. But
Right.
it just needs to, like you said, it just needs to stop. Like, that's what, five? It's a 10-yard penalty now.
It might be, honestly. Either way, you're going in the wrong direction. And, the Patriots fans are going to love this because you know who the offensive line coach is, right?
Isn't it Matt Patricia?
It is. So it's just another reason to blame him. So that derailed that drive, and then the Ravens got the ball back. Lamar was magnificent, not only in this game, but specifically on this drive, too. He escaped a sack, lots of dump offs to Mark Andrews on this drive, who had a humongous first half for the Ravens today. Had a dump off to the fullback Ricard on this drive. And to end this drive on 3rd and goal, Lamar Jackson hit Mark Andrews for a shovel pass, which was Andrews' 4th catch of the drive for a touchdown. And towards the end of the first quarter, Ravens drew first blood and they went up 7-0. And the biggest missed opportunity on this drive for me watching the Patriots was they had an opportunity to get off the field earlier in this drive on, I think, like 3rd and 8 or something like that. We sent some pressure. Dietrich Wise had a sack on Lamar, but Shifty Lamar was able to get out of it and keep the drive going. So just kind of frustrating because I honestly do think that the Patriots did a good job in flustering Lamar today. But there was some missed opportunities, and it's almost just kind of like you have to tip your cap to a guy like Lamar Jackson, who's honestly one of the most exciting players to watch in the league. And it seems like he was a grade A actor this week because there are all these problems or all these reports saying like his arm's hurting him. Maybe he won't be able to throw that much today. I didn't notice that today. Lamar was great today, and he looked like his normal self.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the numbers he's posted these 3 weeks, it's almost identical to his MVP year 3 years ago. So I think that we might be in for the Lamar show this year again.
And today I felt kind of like that Avengers meme where it's like I won, but at what cost? Because my favorite team, the Patriots, lost. But I do have Lamar Jackson in fantasy, and the last couple of weeks have been quite the treat having him. He's the only quarterback in fantasy football history to score 39 points or more in back-to-back weeks.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And he accounted for all 5 touchdowns today, and he's accounted for every single Ravens touchdown this season. So I think you're right, honestly. I think we might be heading towards another Lamar MVP season. And it couldn't have come at a better time for him being a contract year.
Yeah, I think it is. This was the year I think he said to himself, I need to stand out. And he's put his head down. He's worked harder than I've seen him work before. And now he's doing this, carving up defenses.
Yeah, and I just have to call out. I like this guy on YouTube, and I'm not like starting drama or anything. But Pat McAfee has made a name for himself in the sports media world after being retired. But he was adding some unnecessarily fuel to the fire this week leading up to this game. He did something that wasn't like, he doesn't do this often, but basically he clickbaited a video earlier this week saying, Bill Belichick interested in bringing Lamar Jackson to the Patriots, and like the video had absolutely nothing to do with it. Everyone took this clip of Lamar Jackson saying like he was joking because when we were considering drafting Lamar back in 2018, he took a pre-draft visit with the Patriots, and he's like he joked this week saying, "When I went on my visit, I saw Bill Belichick smile." So everyone took that clip, including Pat McAfee, and he clickbaited the heck out of it. He's like, "Oh, Bill Belichick's getting ready to throw the bag at Lamar, and Lamar's going to be a Patriot next year." I'm like, get out of here. Like, you're just doing that for clicks and views. Like, as much as I'd like Lamar here, I mean, Mac is, he's the future. I mean, maybe that's another debate we'll get into later in this show because, everyone seems to want Mac Jones to fail now for whatever reason. But, I don't know. What are your thoughts on all that?
I think, first of all, yeah, Pat McAfee, he's the
hilarious.
Hilarious. He's one of my favorite all-time football personalities. He got me into kicking. But yeah, that was kind of weird. I saw that, and I saw on YouTube, and I was thinking to myself about clicking on it, and I didn't, just in case he did something like that. So, not too surprised about that. He probably found it hilarious. He probably knew what he was doing as well.
Oh, absolutely. He knew he was clickbaiting. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I remember seeing the original interview with Lamar saying that, that he made Bill Belichick smile. It was funny, but I think we all knew we would never draft Lamar. He would not fit in our schemes. He's a very he's the runner that can pass. And we need a field general.
Wow, you might have angered all of Ravens community with that comment right there. Basically calling Lamar a running back, but hey, he works for Baltimore. We had a couple chances to draft him. We chose not to, and it kind of worked out pretty well for us because the 2 people we drafted in the first round that year helped us win a Super Bowl. So it's honestly working out for both sides. But after the Ravens scored, Pats got the ball back, and until the end of the first, they were driving a little bit. Mac Jones had a play-action pass that went to Devontae Parker for huge yardage. That got New England into the red zone, but Isaiah Wynn had his second stupid penalty at the first quarter. This time it was a holding penalty, and that would mean that the Patriots would start off the second quarter being forced to settle for a field goal. So Nick Folk, to begin the second quarter, kicked a 34-yard field goal, went up and good, and the lead for the Ravens was cut from 7-0 to 7-3. So a decent drive that seemed to have potential at this point, but it's just so frustrating because it's just another dumb penalty and it sets us back, and we have to settle for a field goal, which pretty much has become automatic now with Nick Folk. He's made almost nearly 60 straight field goals within 50 yards, but as we learned, right. But as we learned today with the final score, you're not going to be able to compete with the Baltimore Ravens, which is settling for field goals.
You're not going to compete with any team in the NFL settling for field goals. It's not good enough. You settle for a field goal in college. Here, yeah, it's impressive we got down the field that quickly. And it was cool to see, it gave me, a shimmer of hope, like, oh, we can actually move the ball. But one step forward, two steps back.
And how do you think about how the Patriots utilized Devontae Parker today? Because this was his coming out party. He had a great game. He finished with, I have the box score right here, 5 catches for 156 yards. There were memes all over Twitter today saying that him and Mac were like Tom Brady and Randy Moss. I wouldn't go that far, but it was good to see the Patriots and Matt Patricia finally utilize him properly, not just have him run a fly route down the field and hope he catches it in double coverage. So I thought we did a better job with Devontae today.
Yeah, I think after the second big catch he got, I was thinking to myself, where was he against the Dolphins? He would have been so much better in place of Nelson Aguilar during Miami than Nelson Aguilar was. As good as consistent as he was, Parker would have been better. But I think today we really saw the ceiling, I guess, or like the start of a ceiling for Devontae, because now he's shown that he can make big plays for us, and that we can trust him to go into not only double coverage now, but to actually run more difficult routes.
Definitely. I was very impressed with the game he played today, and I think it's important that we use him well because we basically got him for it was a low risk, high reward deal. We only gave up a 5th round pick to get him this offseason. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. His contract's up after this year, so why not just see what we got with him? And it's another weapon for Mac Jones and the Patriots offense to work with. Moving on from that, once Baltimore got the ball back after he tacked on a field goal, Dietrich Wise got his 2nd sack of the game, and the Ravens were forced to punt. Dietrich Wise had a heck of a first half for us. He really abused that matchup against that left tackle because the Ravens all-pro tackle Ronnie Stanley was hurt. He didn't play today.
Right.
Patrick McCarry got hurt during the game, so they were on their 3rd-string left tackle. And yeah, it might have been a little bit of like a Mickey Mouse matchup, as like people say on Twitter, but 3 sacks and a half is pretty good for anyone against any matchup. It's very hard to do. And that's the Dietrich Wise is the first Patriot to have 3 sacks in the first half of a game since Chandler Jones 7 years ago. So he was a big part in keeping this game definitely competitive in the first half for sure.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed was his ability to keep chasing Lamar, after the initial getting out of the pocket phase. Lamar would be going, scrambling to the right. It was, his right side, our left side, I guess. And he was, get out of the pocket. Dietrich Wise was right there alongside him. He had that ability to, I guess, he had an extra high motor going, which was really good.
Definitely. And it's honestly a nice sight to see that Dietrich Wise, it seems like this year could be his coming out party because I feel like a lot of people forget he's a pretty decent veteran. And what I mean by that is this is his 6th year on the team. He's been with us since 17, but, he's been working his way up from like a backup to a rotation guy to now almost being a 3 or 4 down guy. Like they said during the broadcast today that he plays about 90% of the snaps on defense. So, he's earned Belichick's respect. He's also a team captain now this year, and he's off to a great start this year. He's been a nice sight to see on that defense. So another a solid game for him, probably the best game of his career at this point. The Patriots will get the ball back, and on 3rd and 4 on this drive, Mac Jones connected with Nelson Aguilar to keep the chains moving. And then this is where things get a little bit dicey or a little bit more controversial with the Patriots offense, as on 3rd and 9, we do a halfback draw to Damian Harris, and everyone's like, what the heck are we doing? Like, is Josh McDaniels still the offensive coordinator? Why are we doing draw plays on 3rd and long? Then it's 4th and 3. The Patriots choose to go for it. They could elect to go for, I think it would have been like a 45 to 50-yard field goal, but trailing 7-3, Patriots want to be aggressive against an aggressive Ravens team that's probably going to score a lot of points in this game. But on 4th and 3, do you want to explain what happened?
Well, if I remember correctly, 4th and 3, it was just it was actually just a flat route he ran. Was it Kendrick? I think it was Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, so Mac Jones quickly threw it to Kendrick Bourne in the flat. and Marlon Humphrey and one other guy stuffed Kendrick Bourne right at the line of scrimmage, and it was a turnover on downs. Um, what hurt even more from this play was that when they showed the replay of it on Fox, Devontae Parker was in man coverage, streaking down the field. So if Mac had just taken a second to look his way, we probably could have lobbed it to Devontae Parker with the game he was having. I probably could have scored for a touchdown, at least at a minimum, the first down,
Yeah,
because on that play, the defender on Devontae Parker too also switched off him. So like if Mac could have baited that guy into covering Kendrick Bourne with a pump fake and then just lobbed it up to Parker, that's an easy score. So I think that's going to be one of the plays that the Pats are really going to beat themselves up over from this game. I don't mind the play call again, and I think this is a perfect time in the episode to open up the whole Matt Patricia debate because a lot of people are blaming Matt Patricia not only for that play but for a lot of things. When really, Mac Jones just made a terrible read on that play, and I think
yeah,
we might disagree on some things for sure, and that's healthy. I think in this show and in life to disagree. Like you can't agree on everything, but I don't think I don't think Matt Patricia called a terrible game again today. Like this was a fine call. If you knew you were going to go for it on fourth, I'm fine with the run on third and long, and I'm fine with this play call on fourth and short. Mac Jones just needs to make a better read. That's my take.
yeah. I mean, I think overall this season, Matt Patricia has been the better play caller than Joe Judge. So, I guess to some extent it's the lesser of two evils, but yeah, if we're focusing on today, Matt Patricia called, I would say, a pretty good game. I mean, a halfback draw on 39 is kind of weird. I will admit that.
I thought it was weird too, but it makes sense because they knew the whole time they were going for it on fourth. So they were almost treating that like second down.
All right, so yeah, if they knew they were going for it, that kind of makes more sense. But I did not. I think the read Mac Jones made, that was a growing pain. That was,
Yes.
he felt too much pressure in the pocket because it was a very short down, and the Ravens were bringing a lot of pressure, and he felt like he needed to force the ball in to Bourne, even though I think if he waited probably even half a second, we would have gotten a clear touchdown. So that was
And
yeah, as I said, that's just a growing pain.
definitely. And all these people are saying like again, I think I said this earlier in the episode today, where all these people on Bleacher Report are just waiting for Mac Jones to fail. They're rooting for him to fail, and they're like, "He's not the guy. We need a new quarterback. Like, let's draft a new guy. Let's tank for whoever the top quarterback is." Do Patriots fans realize that if what we're doing with Mac right now is it takes a couple years for a quarterback to develop? Everyone wrote Josh Allen off the face of the universe after 2 years, and it wasn't until year three where he really took off. And look at where the Buffalo Bills are now. Unfortunately for the Patriots and the rest of the AFC East, but look where the Bills are now. We're developing Mac. It's year two of the Mac Jones experience. And by wanting to draft a rookie quarterback, you're going to have to go through this whole thing again and basically set your team back again with a new guy for 3 more years. So I just think that logic is just so like short-sighted and ridiculous. Like you're jumping from a young quarterback to another young quarterback, and you're going to have to go through this whole experience again. Even if the Patriots were to consider this, which I don't think they are at all. Mac Jones is the guy for now. Like, why would we? I don't understand the logic from Pats fans in saying we're going to turn to a young rookie quarterback 2 years into the Mac Jones experience. That's just ridiculous, and that's why us fans aren't executives for NFL teams.
Yeah, I've seen those people before, and they just don't understand that while Mac Jones was, yes, an instant starter, it doesn't mean he's going to come in and be the next superstar. There is a big jump from playing in Alabama than there is playing for an NFL team. He was prepared really well, probably better than most quarterbacks, considering he was coached by the college version of Bill Belichick under Nick Saban. But yeah, you need to understand that it takes a long time for a college quarterback to adapt to how the NFL works, like forcing the ball into the flat. Even though if you waited probably half a second, you had a touchdown, or making the right read on option plays. So it's stuff like that that he's still working out, and he also has to now work it out with a new offensive. Well, I can't even call him a coordinator. He is the senior offensive assistant.
Right, and that's what I was just going to get off is that Mac Jones in his first 2 years in the league has had to adapt to two different offensive schemes. So, as you said, the perfect two words to describe this whole thing, it's just going to be growing pains. And there's going to be probably a lot of growing pains this year. And if
Oh
Patriots
yeah,
fans haven't already realized that, then you're going to realize it soon enough. But that's my whole spiel on the whole Mac Jones stuff. After the turnover on downs, the Patriots catch a break because Dietrich Wise got his third sack in the first half, as I talked about. And after a false start by the Ravens offensive line, Lamar Jackson threw an interception to Jonathan Jones. So Ravens give us the ball right back. Lamar tried to hit Rashawn Bateman over the middle, but he didn't see Jonathan Jones, and the Patriots took over close to the red zone. And after some nice runs by Ramondre Stevenson, Mac Jones ended up scrambling for the score, and he got his first career rushing touchdown. And on this play, the Patriots took the lead for the first time today, 10-7. Mac Jones had some dance moves too. Any thoughts on that?
there's a reason why they say white people can't dance, and we just saw it.
Yeah, that was pretty awkward. I had a feeling right after he scored, I'm like, oh, he's going to hit the gritty because that's what he did in the Pro Bowl, and
Yeah,
I don't know what that was.
that was. I think he was too excited to try anything, so he kind of just made it up.
Like I don't know what this is, and then he like held up the camera like. When you do the gritty, like it's like Justin Jefferson and all of them hold up like they call it the bees, and like I don't even know. But
I thought
Mac Jones,
oh, that's the Antonio Brown, isn't it?
the Antonio, it's like the he Mac Jones actually did that. The camera showed him doing the Antonio Brown after he scored. It's like the thing with the fingers. I just learned it a couple days ago. But heads up play by Mac Jones, just realized he has enough room to run with it. Mac Jones had some wheels today. I don't know what his rushing stats were, but he ran a little bit more than yeah,
Yeah.
5 carries, 31 yards, and a touchdown for Mac Jones today, including a 15-yard run.
You know, I didn't
Lamar
have it.
who?
Let's see, I didn't have Mac Jones scoring a rushing touchdown before Lamar today. That's
Yeah.
I saw that. I was just like, oh, well, this is interesting.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. Mac Jones, Mac Jones was proving that we got our mobile quarterback in the draft, and we were right in picking or passing on Lamar a few years back. But Patriots took the lead there. Right before the half, though, the Ravens got going on offense with the run game with Justice Hill and Lamar Jackson taking it himself. Lamar also had some dump offs to players like Oliver, J.K. Dobbins, a lot of read options on this drive, a lot of read options throughout the game. That's like the Ravens' bread and butter on offense, and it was causing problems for the Pats. And right before the half, the Patriots blitzed. And this might be Lamar's most impressive play of the day to me, in my opinion, where Lamar threw it off his back foot and he found Mark Andrews in the back of the end zone who grabbed it over McCourty for the touchdown. That was Andrews' second touchdown of the game, second touchdown of the half. And with 30 seconds left before halftime, the Ravens took the lead back 14-10. Honestly, on this play to Andrews, it probably would have been pass interference on Devin McCourty if the pass fell incomplete because McCourty didn't turn around and there was a little bit of contact. But
Yeah,
this
that
is
was.
it's just one of those plays to me where I thought we played great defense and we did what we had to do because Lamar's kryptonite, and he's still decent at this, is when the blitz is thrown at Lamar. He kind of gets flustered like a lot of quarterbacks would, but that's when he makes his most mistakes. But here, I just kind of, and I think we all just kind of have to tip our cap to people like Mark Andrews and Lamar for doing wonders on this play.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely contact on that catch. That was. I think that should have still been. I think they should have still thrown the flag to acknowledge there's passer interference. But yeah, that. That was Lamar showing that he is a human cheat code sometimes.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
it's who he is. It's almost like he's playing himself in Madden.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. It's quite literally like watching someone in Madden in real life, like you're using the sticks to see him juke and all that stuff. It's crazy. And there were all these questions this offseason about Lamar Jackson putting on 20 pounds, but like he has not lost a step. He's
No.
and as we've said, he's probably on his way to another MVP season. If I had to guess, it's still way too early, but he's he's in for another career year, definitely.
Oh yeah.
So with 30 seconds left in the half, you think maybe the Patriots will take it to the half because we get the ball to begin the third quarter. But we were being pretty aggressive with 30 seconds and 2 timeouts left. Mac Jones connected on back-to-back plays with Kendrick Bourne to get New England field goal range. The first pass was 22 yards over the middle, and the second was 10 yards to Kendrick Bourne, and KB did a great job running to get out of bounds to stop the clock. And as time expired in the first half, Nick Folk kicked a 50-yarder. So the Patriots go into the half trailing the Ravens 14-13. And just in the last 2 weeks, with the way the game ended last week against Pittsburgh and this situation right here, one of the definite bright spots of this offense is in these like 4 and 2 minute situations. I think we've been phenomenal the last couple of weeks, and that could be one of our strengths this season for sure. But taking a minute to address Kendrick Bourne, he had a solid game today. He was the second best contributor of the receivers on offense, 4 catches for 58 yards. But he only had 17 total snaps on offense, and that's down from his 22 he had last week against Pittsburgh. So, what are your takes on this whole Kendrick Bourne situation? Because I thought this whole thing would be resolved by now.
I think he's done something in practice that annoyed one of the coaches. I think mainly Matt Patricia. And he was, I guess, not. He wasn't benched, but he definitely got a reduction in his role. And now I think he's only just showing us that he should be out there more, and Patricia isn't letting him. It's there's a personal conflict between those two people that's getting in the way of of playing time.
Yeah, I just got that Discord alert too. That's funny. I hear it coming through your screen, and it literally goes off of my phone too. So that's funny. But yeah, Kendrick Bourne. It was leaked, I think, after the Miami game, the reason why he didn't play at the end of the preseason, and why there is again.
I'm going to turn it off. That's actually really annoying me now.
And why he also hasn't played much to begin the year. It's apparently because he missed a meeting, I think, over the spring or over the summer, and under Matt Patricia's discretion, what the offense just told Kendrick Bourne, like, you can't be doing that. He might have sent him home or something like that. So that was a disciplinary thing. There's also something, I think, at the beginning of training camp where Kendrick Bourne came out for a practice with the wrong pads on, and the ref at practice said, like, you need to put different pads on. That's honestly warranted. Bill Belichick chewed him out for that, apparently, and I don't blame him for that. But I've said this on the other podcast I've done with Chris, where if you're going to bench someone who got you 5 touchdowns and 700 yards last year of offense and was one of Mac Jones's favorite targets and was a big reason why he won 10 games last year, if you're going to bench that type of production, it better be worth it, and you better know what you're doing, Belichick. And so far, the early returns aren't great. I don't know why Kendrick Bourne has yet to really be a true factor in the offense. When he's out there, he's an amazing playmaker, and he can change the game for you. He fits our system perfectly. I don't know what's going on there, but that's going to be one of the bigger underlying storylines this whole season, because this type of stuff is probably bound to continue. I don't know what it's going to take for Kendrick Bourne to get more snaps. I thought he'd get more snaps this week with a guy like Jacoby Myers being hurt and not being able to play. But nonetheless, the Patriots head into the second half down 14-13, get the ball to begin the third quarter, and right away to begin the third, Mac found Devontae Parker deep for a 37-yard gain. And then a couple plays later, Mac found Devontae Parker again for a nice tiptoe catch by the sideline for a gain of 25. Then Mac Jones almost gave them the ball back as he tried to squeeze it in, and Patrick Queen nearly had a pick six. That just goes back to the growing pains you were talking about.
Yeah, that was an even worse read than the fourth down play.
Absolutely right.
That
Because
was
yeah,
I had a heart
could
attack when I saw that.
could have been very bad, but the very next play, Mac Jones does the smart thing and hands it off to Damian Harris, who waltzes in for a touchdown, and the Patriots take the lead back 20-14. And after this touchdown was scored, Mac Jones started talking some trash with Patrick Green, saying like, "Thanks for dropping that pick, and we'll take the lead right back." And that just shows that Mac Jones is getting way more comfortable because we had those kind of moments last year where he had a little cockiness to him. The first game last year against Miami, I remember he winked at the Miami Dolphins linebacker, and because he said like 52 is the mic, and then he just winked at him. I think it was the play right when they scored the touchdown in that game, the Aguilar, his first career touchdown. Then obviously in the Pro Bowl, he was talking smack to everyone, but Mac's getting more confident. You like to see it, but I don't think he should have been talking trash, especially in this play.
Yeah, I think it was a bit unwarranted, but it was funny.
Definitely.
I
It's like
think
if Jalen Mills was talking trash last week to Deontay Johnson, but I digress.
yeah, but I think the difference between those two things are well, mainly it's that Mac Jones can actually deliver sometimes, more of the time, more times than Jalen Mills can.
Jalen Mills, we apologize if you come across this podcast. We love you. We're happy we have you, and I like your green hair. Shout out to you, Jalen. But
Yeah, the green hair is cool.
Right. So Patriots take the lead back 20-14, but on the ensuing drive, this is where the shootout really commences. Lamar finds Devin DuVernay on a 3rd and 5 to keep the drive going. Then Justice Hill has a huge 35-yard run to make it goal to go for Baltimore. Lamar finds his tight end, Josh Oliver, open for the score. That was that tight end's first career touchdown. Ravens score. Back and forth we go. And just like that, Baltimore takes the lead back 21-20. Yeah, I think we, I don't know, like that. I don't really know, honestly. I don't know what I was going to go at with that, but what do you think? I mean, okay, I'll say this: the Justice Hill 35-yard run, that was a big play, and the Ravens did have a decent amount of big plays today. But I said this at the beginning, I think our defense did solid for the most part up until the fourth quarter when it fell apart a bit at containing these big plays from happening, because that's where the Ravens get you when you have such an athletic and elusive offense with pieces like DuVernay, Bateman, Justice Hill, J.K. Dobbins coming back in the mix, and Lamar Jackson. They had their fair share of these plays today, and that's honestly a big reason as to why they won. But when the Patriots defense wasn't gassed, I think we contained those types of plays from happening pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that first big run we saw in the third quarter, it came later in the third quarter as well, so it was a bit of a sign of things to come. They were showing that they were clearly tired on that field, and the 35-yard run kind of broke them, if you would. It just didn't seem like they were ready for it.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of bending, but not breaking so far with the Patriots defense. I think last week that happened a lot against the Steelers where we bended but didn't break. This week, some drives we bended, but a decent amount of drives, especially towards the end, we broke, as you said.
Yeah, we completely lost it in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Which we'll definitely get to. So Baltimore took the lead back 21-20. Patriots got the ball back and could do nothing with it, so we punt it back to the Ravens. And just like that, they ended up scoring again. Devin DuVernay got 45 yards on a punt return. What did you think about that punt return? Because it was kind of controversial. Matthew Slater was not happy. It seemed like maybe the Ravens could have gotten away with some holds there, but I don't really know. I didn't get the greatest look at it, but not good for the Patriots to be letting us. We pride ourselves on special teams, and that just flipped field position for Baltimore.
Yeah, I saw the coach's film for that punt return, and looking at it, there was holding on Matt Slater. Yes, he was double teamed, which is perfectly fine, perfectly legal. But it just seemed like the Ravens used it as a way to shield some of the holding that they did. Because with two people on you, there are a lot of arms in there. If someone goes, kind of below your other arm, rest might be able to see you.
Yeah, so definitely a little bit of a controversy there. And the Ravens, of course, took advantage of the big punt return. Lamar Jackson bursted right through the middle on this drive for a big run of 38 yards. This was a bit of a Patriots defensive breakdown. I didn't like the formation we came out in because I think Jawan Bentley and Uche were at the line of scrimmage at this play showing blitz. And as soon as Lamar got past them, it was kind of just like he was home free, even though he didn't score. Just like that, after the game to 38, it was Baltimore goal to go again. And then Lamar Jackson connected with Devin DuVernay in the far right corner of the end zone for the touchdown. He caught it over our favorite guy, Miles Bryant. And the Ravens extend their lead at this point to 28-20. Just another great throw by Lamar Jackson, a solid catch by DuVernay. And it's pretty poetic that the guy who started this big drive for Baltimore was the one who finished it in Devin DuVernay. But this is where, as you said, it was a sign of things to come, and the defensive breakdown just started coming in flurries.
Yeah, it was kind of like in the first half, our defense was held together by like the super glue that never like wears out. But then once we hit the third quarter, we were held together with a piece of tape, and someone cut it.
Yep, and then after that, 28-20, Patriots get the ball back, and Mac Jones pretty much immediately throws an interception to Josh Bynes. Bynes slid in front of Devontae Parker for the pick. Mac Jones just, I guess, didn't see him. And the Ravens make Mac pay. He does not get away with an interception this time, as he did a couple drives prior. And the Ravens get the ball back. And on third down, Lamar Jackson overthrew Rashad Bateman by a little bit. It's off his fingertips. Jalen Mills is lucky because he was beating coverage on this play. So the Ravens have to settle for a 56-yard field goal by Justin Tucker, which is up and good because, of course, it is. Justin Tucker, a 56-yard field goal. He's probably the greatest kicker in NFL history, in my opinion. And,
yeah, he is.
That's like a chip shot to him. So that extends the Ravens' lead to being a two-score game, with the score now being 31-20 at the end of the third quarter. So what started off seeming like a promising third quarter for the Patriots with that big touchdown drive with the nice catches by Devontae Parker ends in terror because everything fell apart after that and the Ravens completely flipped the script. So the Ravens went from being up by 1 point to begin the second half to being up by 11 points after three quarters. So
the Patriots scored one more before the end of the third quarter, right?
So they were driving at the end of the third, but it wasn't until the fourth when they scored.
I thought they scored in the third.
So that's I forgot to get to that. So right before the third quarter ended, we get the ball back. Stevenson with some solid running, and then Devontae Parker made that nice catch that Mac Jones kind of overthrew that ball, but Devontae Parker dove right by the sideline to make that nice catch. So we headed the fourth quarter with the Patriots already in field goal range. And this is where things get chaotic. Mac scrambled on 3rd and 9, and I think this was the run we were talking about, which was a 15-yard run to get the first down. Or actually, no. So he was scrambling on 3rd and 9. This was the one where he lunged for the marker, but it was 4th and inches. He thought he had the first down, and it was 4th and inches. Mac takes the snap. And this might be the craziest play of the day. Do you know what one I'm talking about?
I do. I remember this one. This was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, so 4th and inches, Mac takes the ball, scrambles around from side to side. All the defenders are all around him. Somehow the mobile Mac Jones escapes everyone, and he finds Jonnu Smith wide open on the left side of the field for the first. And this was a crazy play. So many potential opportunities on this play for our offensive linemen to be illegal men downfield. I know the commentators on Fox were looking for that, and it looked like Cole Strange might have been past the line of scrimmage, but Mac was alert, and the Patriots were alert, and just running to the line so the Ravens didn't have a chance to challenge it. And Mac took the ball, threw it to Jonnu Smith for a screen, and Jonnu Smith got right down to the goal line for another decent gain. And then the next play right after that, Ramondre Stevenson rushed it in for a touchdown. And the Patriots, just like that, were right back in it. But take some more time for me to break down that 4th and inches play.
Yeah. So what doesn't make sense to me here is we just saw in the first 3 quarters, Mac made 2 terrible reads on 4th downs. And then here we are again, 4th and inches, and immediately the play falls apart where you have, Ravens on your left and right. Somehow Mac looks calm and composed and gets the ball out with barely being touched.
Were you surprised that was a pass play? Because I thought that was either going to be a sneak or run up the middle with big 4th and inches.
Yeah, I saw him get under center. I'm thinking, all right, he's going to sneak it in, sensible, low risk play. Then I see Jonnu Smith start running a route and I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is going to end badly. And as you said, Fox was looking for the illegal man downfield, and Cole Strange was, I think you're allowed like maybe 1 or 2 yards before the refs call anything. So I think he was in that kind of gray area. So yeah, we got away with that, but it was, I could feel my heart pounding when I saw the pass play. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, because at that point, if we don't get that, the game's probably over. And once Max starts scrambling, like this is not going to end well. But credit to the offensive line for doing just enough to, block the Ravens' front four from attacking Mac, and Shifty Mac found Jonnu. And that whole sequence that ended up with the touchdown made it 31-26 Ravens. So the Patriots opted to go for 2 to try and make it a field goal game. This is where things get even weirder. So this play call, this is probably the one play call that I had, one problem with the play call that I had today with Matt Patricia. On the 2-point conversion, we called a screen play for Ramondre Stevenson on the right side, and nothing was giving for Ramondre once he got the ball. So he tried to shift it to the left. He tried to do his best Mac Jones impression. He stumbled and fell, and after he fell, he lateraled the ball to Mac Jones, who took it upon himself to bury himself into the end zone through 3 defenders, and he did. So the call on the field was a successful 2-point conversion. But upon further review, the call was reversed because before Ramondre Stevenson fell, he was down by contact because a defender put a hand on his leg earlier in that play. So after he fell, he would be down. But that was a fun play to watch. Obviously not fun for the Patriots because that was a big play. If it's a field goal game at that point, that definitely changes things. But yeah, that play call was doomed to be that play call was doomed to begin with.
Yeah, I never like when teams run screens on the goal line because, especially goal line, 2-yard line, you have at least 5 guys rushing you at that point. That's just a given.
Yeah, it's a short field.
Yeah, you're going to have so many people coming at you, so little time to get the ball away. Your best chance is either to kind of like, I guess, do a stretch on one of the sides or have a quick slant from one of your receivers or tight ends. Because with a screen, you're now leaving your quarterback open when your linemen shift out, start running over to one of the either right or the left side to protect the running back, or the running back gets completely pummeled and gets stuck behind the line of scrimmage like we saw today. So it's a very high risk, low reward play.
Yeah, so this was the only play call, like I said, that I questioned from Matt Patricia. Patriots don't get the 2-point conversion here, but it is a ball game again. It went from 31-20 to 31-26 Ravens early in the 4th. Ravens get the ball back, and Lamar Jackson and the Ravens end up turning it over, and the Patriots do get the ball right back. Lamar found Rashawn Bateman in traffic for his first catch of the day, but Jonathan Jones with the heads-up play stripped him, and Jabril Peppers recovered the ball, and the review confirmed that it was a fumble and a Patriots recovery. Just like that, the Patriots have the ball and they have life again. Just credit to Jonathan Jones, who had a heck of a game today with an interception and a forced fumble, and then Jabril Peppers being in the right spot. Jabril Peppers was thrust into another decently sized role today with Kyle Duggar not being able to play. But At this point, you're feeling like I think what you said earlier, like, okay, maybe the Patriots have this now. Like, we got the ball, we're in decent scoring position. Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're cutting out for me a lot. Yeah, it's cutting out a lot. So I guess I'll just keep going with the recap. Uh, Jonathan Jones, or as I already said that, so the Patriots get the ball back. They're in decent scoring position to at least settle for a field goal at this point. Max scrambled for a first down. This is what we were talking about earlier, with this being Max's longest run of the day on this play, 15 yards. But a few plays later, Mac Jones throws a red zone interception in the end zone. He felt the so just gonna be me, I guess, from now on. Sebastian just texted me that there was a power outage. No worries there. I'll just finish up the recap here. So Max scrambled for a first red zone pick. He basically lobbed it to Marlon Humphrey, who was looking for Devontae, and Mac was looking for Devontae Parker back in the end zone. But this was just not a good read by Mac at all. Another terrible decision. Humphrey was basically waiting for the ball like a wide receiver, and I think could be having a return here. Let's see. But it's very hard to win in the National Football League when you turn the ball over 4 times. And we said that. And did we have Sebastian back? Let's see. Can you hear me? Oh no, it's still it's frozen. So yeah, I'll just again keep going with it. Oh hello.
Yeah, I think I'm back.
Technical difficulties. We apologize for this.
I think I think I got it.
Okay, that's good. Somewhat. Yeah.
All right. Kind of love
So
random power outages.
happy to have you back. So Jonathan Jones forced fumble, and then Julius Pepper recovery. Like, how are you feeling at this point? Because for me, it was feeling like, okay, maybe the Patriots can actually pull this one out.
Yeah, I saw the real preppers recover, and I'm thinking, good. We're right back where we need to be. We're on target to at least get into field, at least get a field goal out of this, and maybe try and keep pushing it. But yeah, it was. I was filled with hope.
Yep. So Patriots, after they got the ball back, Max scrambled for a first down. This is the play we were talking about with the 15-yard scramble. But just a few plays later after that, Mac Jones threw his second interception of the game. It's a red zone interception into the back of the end zone. This was not a good decision at all by Mac. The announcers said that he was kind of playing reckless with this. He was looking for Parker in the back of the end zone. They had a great connection all day. Not on this play, as Mac just lobbed it up in the back of the end zone, where Marlon Humphrey was the one waiting for it, basically like a wide receiver himself, and he came down with the ball, and the Ravens retained possession. Just another bad decision by Mac, and this just goes back to those growing pains that we were talking about, where you can't pin that. Like, if you're actually pinning that call or that play on Matt Patricia as a Patriots fan, like, I don't know what
Yeah,
to tell you. he had nothing to do with that. That was just all Mac's fault, and Mac would probably be the first one to tell you that. So that's just a crucial turnover in this game because we were already in a position to get points and maybe even make that a 2-point game at least, with it being 31-26. You kick a field goal, then all you need is a field goal to take the lead again. So that was a killer. But luckily enough for the Patriots offense, once again after that, the Patriots defense bailed them out as we got a stop and we got the ball back. And this is where the game pretty much ended because on third down, Mac Jones found Nelson Aguilar, but Kyle Hamilton stripped Aguilar from behind, and Marcus Peters recovered the ball in bounds. And the Patriots finished the day with 4 turnovers in their last 5 possessions.
That is unacceptable. You know, that's something you see in high school. Like, that's a high school football stat right there. You know, I understand that they were trying to force it, and maybe, it just wasn't working, but, the Max interception in the end zone, like you said, that was entirely his fault. That was a reckless pass. The fumble was some of Nelson Aguilar's fault of not protecting the ball well enough. I think you can also credit some of this to the rain, because it started raining kind of hard right in that 4-minute window in the fourth quarter, and it just seemed that the ball got more slippery as that went on, and the breaking point was seeing Nelson Aguilar fumble it.
Yeah, and I think Aguilar, I'm not sure if this will become too much of a concern, but it does seem as if he has a fumble problem because he had a fumble in Miami, and he has a fumble this week. So just something to monitor there. But this was really a killer because at this point, as I said, the Baltimore Ravens just took over and won the game because after they got the ball back in the fumble, Rashawn Bateman had a huge catch and run that got Baltimore into field goal range. And then Lamar Jackson took it himself for a run of 20 yards. And then a few plays later, Lamar Jackson took it himself, but this time in the end zone. And as we said, Lamar Jackson accounted for all 5 scores today. Just a heck of a performance for him. One of the better games of his career, probably. And that put the Ravens up 37-26. Justin Tucker missed the PAT, which was a little weird, but this touchdown was more than enough to put the game away.
Yeah, I saw that. I wasn't fully paying attention at that point because I was like, all right, we're done. There's no way we're scoring again in this. And so, I opened my laptop and I hear in the background, and Justin Tucker misses the extra point. So I had to go. I looked at the replay and I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, this man was automatic from 56 yards out today. But what?
And it's always weird because Justin Tucker's notoriously struggled kicking at Gillette for whatever reason. Like, we're the stadium that gives him the most trouble. I don't know if it's just like a coincidence or there's something behind it, but that was something kind of interesting. And on the final drive of the game, it's garbage time. It doesn't matter. But what happened in garbage time might matter for the Patriots moving forward because Mac Jones threw an interception, his 3rd pick of the game, and Marcus Peters that would completely end it. But on that play, Mac Jones got hurt and hobbled into the locker room. And there's no true reports on the severity of the injury yet, but it was reported right before we started this episode that x-rays on his ankle were negative, and he'll continue to be evaluated. He will speak to the media tomorrow. We'll see if he gives us any answers. Probably not because he plays for the Patriots. But this is something to monitor moving forward, and this just really adds insult to injury. And if Mac Jones goes down, there goes our season.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Hoyer is a good quarterback, no doubt about it. He led the Texans to the playoffs back in 2015, I believe.
That's all right.
Yeah, which is, he has experience. He's played for us before. If Mac Jones is gone for the rest of the season or is gone for a few weeks, we have him to kind of bridge the gap. And that's really about it. We don't, I don't really see him playing long term. But yeah, hopefully Mac is not terribly injured. Though I am a bit worried about him because this is the 2nd week in a row now we've seen him having to get x-rays from being hit or just, at the end of the game needing to go get evaluated. That can't keep happening.
Right, because he had the back problem against Miami, and then now this with the foot. This definitely looks more severe. You hope maybe it just only keeps him out a couple weeks, but we could be in for Hoyer the Destroyer next week in Green Bay. I don't know if you remember that. I think it was a Tuesday night football game. It was either Monday night or Tuesday night during the 2020 COVID season where Brian Hoyer played against the Chiefs.
I
That
remember
game,
that game.
I've seen enough of Brian Hoyer. I respect what he does for a backup, and he's basically been a coach for this team for the last 5 years or whatever. But I would rather us play Zappy, even though Zappy is nowhere near ready. But point is, nothing good comes from Mac Jones being hurt. But as we said at the beginning, the Patriots did look a lot better offensively. You can't hate how they called this game. We just need to play better situational football with making better decisions. And the defense, for the most part, looked okay until the end, or the fourth quarter, and the second part of the second half.
Yeah,
So it wasn't the worst game in the world.
It wasn't. I mean, the defense looked much better than they did last week. They seemed to address the issue of their secondary a bit more, which was kind of nice to see. But there are still a lot of questions like why was there no second left? Like why was Josh Uche lining up at the line of scrimmage? Almost giving away that he's blitzing. Because once someone gets through, there goes our second level of defense. It's just that line of scrimmage and a couple safeties. So there's stuff like that need to work out. And then offensively, one step forward with Devontae Parker having almost a career day, well, a Patriot career day with us. But now our starting quarterback is banged up, and our offensive line doesn't know how to get information anymore.
Yeah, so definitely still a lot more questions to work through from this game. And again, the offense did great. Granted, the Ravens secondary has been injury riddled and was ranked dead last in the league heading into this game. But we hung in there with the Ravens for the most part. And, we're still improving. The first game was ugly. Last week was better. This week, you can tell things are starting to come more together. And, next week's a big week for sure because you don't want to fall to 1-3. I don't think we'll be able to pull off what we did last year, starting off 1-3, then 2-4, then winning 7 straight. Not with this schedule.
No.
And the games, the cupcake games that we thought were going to be gimmies that are coming up after the Green Bay game next week might just not be as big of a gimme because Detroit's been very competitive. So you don't know. But next week is probably another must-win game against Green Bay. Just real quick, I'll come out with the video later this week previewing that matchup. But just how do you think the Patriots will fare against Green Bay next week in Lambeau?
I think it's going to depend on who's playing because if we have Jacoby Myers and Kyle Duggar back, we'll probably do a lot better than we did today. They are very solid players. Kyle Duggar is one of our best safeties, and Jacoby Myers is Mac Jones' favorite target. And if, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have his normal receiving core healthy like he does this week, he doesn't have one or two of his main receivers, we could be in for a really, really good game.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be another competitive game, and the Packers aren't as good as people are saying they are. Rodgers, as you said, is just still working out his receiving corps. Without Devontae Adams, he's just still trying to figure it out. Obviously, containing people like A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones is going to be a problem for us. But how the game next week goes all hinges on the health of Mac Jones, and we're probably not going to find anything out on if he'll play or not until Friday when they leave for Green Bay. So we'll just have to wait and see. But this team's getting there. We're climbing the mountain. We can win 10 games again. We can squeak into the playoffs again. But, still work in progress. And, we're not even at the end of September yet. So still work to be done. But I don't appreciate and don't agree with all these fans, wanting to raise the pitchforks and say, this team's done. This season's over. Like we have 14 more games to go, and
Yeah, this season is far from over.
the Patriots have always started off slow, or Bill Belichick always famously says you don't really know what your team is capable of until Thanksgiving. I'll give them until Halloween, and then we'll know what this team's really capable of. So you just have to play it week by week. So
Yeah, it's very rare to see a team have a hot start and keep it going.
the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen the Bills. I think they played Miami today. I don't know who won. I don't know who won that game, but
Dolphins squeaked it out.
did they really?
They did.
Wow.
Mike McDaniel's 3-0 to begin his NFL career as a head coach against McDermott, Belichick, and Harbaugh.
That is a very impressive thing to do.
Yeah, so you're right though. The Cardinals, it's their patented thing where they start off every season so hot, and then the second half they collapse. They did it last year, starting like 7-0, 8-0, or whatever. Then they bow out in the wild card round. So it's a long season. There's going to be ups and downs, and every team that's going to end up being a good team goes through some sort of adversity. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But that is going to do it for this recap. Sebastian, thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed making your debut on the channel.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was fun. I'll have to do it again.
Absolutely. So that is going to do it for this Patriots Ravens coverage for us from this week on my channel. I will be back with a video previewing Patriots vs. Packers matchup probably this upcoming Saturday. I want to thank everyone for watching this video. Be on the lookout for more videos like this. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We will talk to you soon. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Go Pats.